First, more on our top story. We start tonight with our radio talk show host, syndicated host, Larry Elder Friend. Let me start with the shutdown and the president. The president has invited the Democrats day after day to come and negotiate, to talk about what is life and death at the border and talk about the government shutdown. They never go. They don't want to negotiate. Well, I think the president acted in the right way today.
Well, I agree. And Sean, here's what gets me about this whole thing. Nancy Pelosi, of all people, ought to understand the position that Donald Trump is in. He made a campaign promise, not just a campaign promise, but a promise that he believes makes the country better. Similarly, 2008, Barack Obama runs. One of his signature promises was health care reform, which eventually became Obamacare. But it was unpopular as he was prosecuting the case. And to the point where Massachusetts Democrats lost the so-called Ted Kennedy seat to Scott Brown. They were demoralized, Sean. They were crushed. Rahm Emanuel wanted to pull the whole thing. The person that bucked Obama up that said, go big or go home, was Nancy Pelosi. She said, you made a signature promise, you need to fulfill it. And Donald Trump made a promise. He's trying to do the same thing to fulfill a campaign promise that he made, that he now also believes will improve the country's security, make the country better.
It's 90% of the heroin coming across that border into this country.
That's exactly right. So why would Nancy Pelosi understand the pressure that Obama was under and encourage him to pursue Obamacare, but expect Donald Trump to completely drop-kick a plan, a promise that he made repeatedly to his base? It doesn't even make any political sense. She understands that.
Larry, we're talking about literally, they all took their vacations for Christmas. They didn't stay and negotiate for the furloughed employees. 10 days in, then you got other Democrats taking a lobbyist-paid junket to a luxurious resort in Puerto Rico. Looks like they were having fun. Then you got Nancy going away, and in that 7-day period, that means those 800,000 furloughed employees would not get another check. She seemingly doesn't care about them, although she claims to care. But we got life and death. Let me ask you this. We've got these new radicals in the Democratic Party, outspoken anti-Semites, associations with the Women's March, and those people that support Farrakhan. I don't hear any criticism amongst the Democratic leadership about any of this.
No, and you won't, and it gets even worse, John. Al Sharpton, who's a friend and associate of Farrakhan, is being visited by many of these prospective presidential candidates. Bloomberg, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Gillibrand have all met with him or plan on meeting with him. Al Sharpton, has not renounced his friendship with Farrakhan, has not renounced the anti-Semitic comments that you've just now played. By the way, you mentioned Steny Hoyer, the House Majority Leader. He also said that walls sometimes even work. So not only has he broken away from Nancy Pelosi a little bit, here he is acknowledging that walls, quote, sometimes work. I thought they didn't work. I thought they were inefficient. I thought they were a waste of money.
Yeah, and I thought it was a manufactured crisis. Why wouldn't Nancy meet with angel moms and dads? She was in her office. They were outside her door.
You know why she wouldn't meet. What's she going to say? She even said about the
death of
a police officer who was killed by... She said about a police officer who was killed, well, we don't live in a perfect world. Really? Whenever there's a mass shooting, the same people that say we don't live in a perfect world want to draft more laws to restrict the Second Amendment. In response, well, we don't live in a perfect world would not satisfy her when there's a mass shooting, but when a person is killed by an illegal alien, hey, stuff happens. We don't live in a perfect world. It's outrageous.
I got to run. Larry, thank you for being with us. We'll have a lot more on this coming up during the show.